Welcome and thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Clare Bwenje. This is Family Talk Show. It happens every Friday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Thank you so much for joining. Today we have a very great topic and I know you will be blessed. It is really exciting and we will be discussing the family at Crossroads. And with me in the studio to discuss this topic is a great couple, Engineer Emmanuel Tumweboneire, the General Manager of Aponye Limited, and his dear wife, Mrs. Naomi Tumweneire. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me. Welcome our guests today.
Thank you so much.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
Happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Please say hello to our viewers.
Dear Family TV viewers, we are glad to be with you this evening, and we're also glad to be hosted on Family TV by Clare. Clare, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We appreciate the team at Family TV. You are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Keep it up.
Thank you very much. Thank you for
Yes.
coming. We are happy to have you here.
Thank you.
And
Good evening, viewers. We are happy to be here, and we hope that we shall be able to benefit from this program. Thank you so much, Claire, for welcoming us this way.
yeah,
Thank you.
we are happy to have you, and thank you very much for coming to discuss, to share your knowledge, to share your testimonies to us this evening. Thank you very much for coming. And just like you know, our topic is the family at the crossroads. So I would love us to break this down. What is a family and what is a crossroad?
Thank you so much, Claire. Once again, Emmanuel Tumweboneire is my name, and I'm a professional mechanical engineer.
Okay.
I've practiced for the last 23 years. I'm married to one wife, one dear wife. I normally call her a gift from God.
Wow, gift
The
from
Bible
God.
is very clear that wealth is inherited from our parents, but a good wife is a gift from God.
Amen.
So that is a gift that God has given me. We have been married, and we celebrated our 15th year in marriage, actually, last month.
Oh, wow. Hey,
Yes.
happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Wow,
Thank
glory
you.
to God. That's really nice.
Yeah, so we have 3 children. You know, these days we call them kids, but they are children. They are children. They are
I
not
know.
kids. Joseph, Abigail, and Daniel, and the first 2 are twins.
Wow.
So this is Sarongo and Narongo.
Wow.
So when we talk about family, we actually know what it means. We also grew up from families. Me from Mahanga Kabale, and her from Bushenyi. So we met at the university, and consequently we agreed to proceed together.
Wow.
And thus far, the
Lord has
us.
brought you. Wow.
Yes.
It's great.
So when you ask a question about family, you know, family to different people, it has different meanings.
True.
When you're talking to an African and you're talking about family, and you're talking maybe to a Briton, and you're talking about family, you may have different interpretations. So to us in Africa, a family is extended. It's not between me and my wife. My parents are involved, my grandparents are involved, our children are involved, our uncles are involved, our aunties are involved. That's what we used to call a family. However, in the modern era, when we say family, it is me and my wife raising our children together in a home. That's the kind of the modern definition that we are currently getting. So we are moving away from our African tradition and definition to the modern family. Yes, so a family, I would say, is a union of a husband and wife living together and raising up children. That is the modern definition.
Yes.
However, in the African traditional society, it extends beyond the two of us. Yes, what we used to call the extended family.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you very much. And what is a crossroad?
Yeah, when we are talking about family and crossroads, as he has explained what a family is, we find out that having been moved from the extended family then to urban setting families, then there are certain things that we have to come to terms to. And I think that's where the crossroads are coming from. There are some important decisions which we have to make.
Exactly.
For instance, if I may start from myself, I have gone to school, I want to work, I have given birth to the children, I need to raise them, I need to make sure that I take care of them, I take care of the home, and at the same time, I make sure that everything is balanced.
True.
How do I do it? So when we are talking about the crossroads, these are some of the important decisions that we have to make and make sure that when they are made, a family being the smallest unit in the society, when it is stabilized, then it will also influence the rest of the society. But you can add on the crossroads.
We live in a society. When I was growing up, I remember the only source of information we had was UBC and Radio Uganda, and consequently, we did not have a lot of information. Information was limited.
No
but
internet.
in this day and age, the sources of information are many. And what does that mean? It means that for a family member, both parents and children, they find themselves with a lot of information and they have to make a choice. Which of this information will I use to build my family?
Exactly.
Which of this information will I use to build my children?
Exactly.
So these conflicting demands, these conflicting information create the crossroad. Because at the end of the day, a decision has to be made. Therefore, you are at the crossroad. Which way should I take?
Exactly. I know. True.
As a father, which way should I take? As a mother, which way should she take? As children,
Which
I am at school and exposed to this information. I'm on TV and exposed to the other information. I'm in church and exposed to the other information. I'm in a peer group and exposed to the other information. I am on internet and exposed to this information.
Sure. Okay.
What decision, what will influence my decision?
Exactly.
Puts you at the crossroad. Yes, that's what we call a crossroad
Exactly.
at the end of the day. So
Wow.
the family is at a crossroad. You make the wrong decision, you impact your family, but you also impact the community. You make the right decision, you impact your family, and therefore impact the whole community. As he said, that the family is the smallest unit. So the decisions may look insignificant. You may say, it's me and my wife and children.
I know.
But remember, those children are not going to live with you forever. Remember, after we leave home, she has to go and work. After I leave home, I have to go and work. What decisions did we make here that will influence and build us to build the rest? Otherwise, if we are unstable, the community is
Unstable.
So that's what we call a crossroad.
Exactly.
The family at a crossroad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Now that you have really explained to us this great topic, these key words in our topic, now we would love to know, when we say family at the crossroad, what comes to you? What really do you talk about the family at the crossroad? Now that we have joined them together, you told us what a family is and what a crossroad is. So when we bring them together, we make a family at the crossroad. What really comes to you when you talk about the family at the crossroad?
What quickly comes into my mind are the different decisions and what influences the decisions. Because it is the decision that I will make that puts me or puts her at the crossroad, or puts any family at the crossroad. So, but before a decision is made, normally behind the decision are influencers.
Exactly. And what are those influencers?
So these influencers, for example, is media. What do I, or my children, or the extended family receive from the media? That is one of them. The second is religion. For us who go to church, what does my child get from the church?
Yes, yes.
What does my child get from school? That is education. The education will influence his decision, or my decision, or her decision. We are looking at entertainment, goes with media. We are looking at these days economics. Well, yes, when you talk about something, I have to first go and work. I need to earn. So it means that decision is being influenced by the ability to earn or the inability to do it. So it influences the decision. So that puts you at a crossroad. We are looking at other factors. That
Culture.
yes, we are looking at culture. Thank you so much. How I grew up from a Bachiga background, how she grew up from another background determines the decisions that we make.
True.
Puts us at a crossroad. The Bachiga always talk like this. Calm down. It can be different. So you see the decision.
Indeed,
there.
yeah, it can actually be.
These are some of the factors that influence the decision.
Exactly.
Now, if the influencers are bad, the decision will be bad.
Exactly.
If the influencers are good, the decision
will be good.
So it means that the means will determine the ends, not the ends determining the means. If you are a family at a crossroad, you don't look at the end result, you look at the means, and you focus yourself on the means, and make sure these means are good.
Exactly.
We have learned of the 7 influences, the mountains of influences. So if they are not good, the decision will be bad.
Exactly.
If they are good, the decision becomes good. So that quickly comes into my mind that we have to check what influences our decision before the decision is made. Yes.
If we are to add on, we need to realize that there is also exposure. As he has already said, when the children go to school, what are they exposed to?
Exactly.
When they come to your home, what are they exposed to? When they come to, to this, either in the market or what, or supermarket, are they going to come up, as you were saying, are they going to come up and say, no, mommy, we cannot go to the market. Maybe the supermarket is better. And then you don't have the enough money. And then you are trying here and there, and then you want to cheat, and maybe you want to please the child, and maybe you want to do this and the other. So there are that exposure also counts so much. But as he said, if they come to influence someone who has already been made, or who has already decided, whether there is this or that, I can make a decision, or I can make a rightful decision, then it becomes easier for the children to make decisions at a younger age, but also for the couples on what they do, what they stand on, or they stand by.
Wow.
And
thank you very much. Thank you for sharing. Before we were talking about the family, they were telling us some of the things that influence our decisions. They told us that we will always make decisions in our marriages, as children, as fathers, as mothers, as wives. We always make decisions, and what matters is what influences your decision making. If it is good, your decision will be good. If it is bad, your decision will be bad. Thank you very much. But I want you to throw more light about the influencers. What are those things that influence our decision? I know people out there need to understand more about that, because this is our day-to-day thing we go in. So please throw more light. We need to know more about that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Claire. As I said earlier, the decisions we make are influenced by certain things that we are exposed to, as my wife also indicated. And if these are bad, the decision is bad. The means justify the ends.
The end, true.
So in most cases, when we are home and the child makes a wrong decision, the parent goes to discipline the decision. The parent does not go to look at the influence. And then discipline the influence. When you discipline the influence, the decision automatically will be good. But if you focus on the result, my child has done this bad, and therefore you discipline the result, and you forget the means, the child will always make a wrong decision.
Exactly.
If I am a father and I make a wrong decision, I don't rush to say, my wife is the following. No. I sit back and reflect. Maybe there are some influences that I have had that makes me make a bad decision towards her or towards my children. And an immediate influencer that we all know is the media. We are now using the media to talk to the rest and say, check your means. Then the media has the newspapers, the TVs, the radios, all that is within the media. What kind of media are you exposed to as a family? And how do you control it? The information flow has to be sieved. Age-related, family-related, education-related. But if you do not sieve this information that is coming from the media, and all the information bombards your family, do not be surprised if they make a wrong decision. Because the media is not there to control what you see.
Exactly.
The media is there to give you information. It is you to say, this is appropriate for my children, this is appropriate for my wife, this is appropriate for me.
Exactly.
Otherwise, do not accept any form of information to go through. Then we have education. Our children go to schools. Different kinds of schools available in the country. Where do you take them? Am I going to take them to a church-based school? Am I going to take them to a home school? Am I going to take them to a public school? Am I going to take them to a private school? These are sources of information, and they influence your children's decisions. Don't be surprised when the child said, the teacher said so I will not change the decision. And I have had many parents complain about that. The teacher has more influence on my child than I do. So the child is checking your decision through her teacher's or his teacher's input.
Exactly.
So you can imagine. So we have economic stroke business. That's where our career goes. That's where we earn. This is a source of income. Decisions have to be made. Should I work and my wife works? Should she stay at home and I work? Should both of us work?
Her decisions there.
Should we should we build a career? Should we build a business?
Exactly. Oh my.
So all these decisions are determining your relationship and therefore moving down to the children. Because at the end of the day, if the children can't work, you're at a crossroad. Sorry, if the children can't feed, you're at a crossroad. If I have to pay rent and I don't have money, how will I look into her eyes and and say the sweet things when she knows tomorrow they are evicting us? This is a challenge.
Exactly.
So we have to think through our business, our career, and see how to earn at the end of the day. If we are to live in Kampala, after all, we are not going back in the village.
You're here to stay.
Religion. We talk about religion. When we look at religion, will you decide to take your children to school, to church every Sunday? Will you pray with your children every day? Will you sing them hymns and
encourage
them in the Bible
support
every day.
them.
And that's the decision I have to make as a father. That's the decision she has to make as a mother. Otherwise, the rest of the influences will come in. And remember, naturally, human being, we are like a leaking vessel. You will think I have pumped enough
I know.
into my children's brains. I should stop and relax.
Yes.
Little did you know that the other influences are not relaxing. They are keeping. So you also have to keep.
You have to deal with the
Sunday school,
with
from
the
Sunday
roots.
school to this, to a Bible study. From you keep putting this information into your child's mind, so that it overcrowds the rest of the bad influences.
True,
the
true.
I
child
can
is
pick
receiving.
up from the
Okay.
family. Now, when we talk about the family influence, this is where we've got to be intentional. It is not just a matter of giving birth to children and then, you just throw there. It is hard work. It needs a lot of concentration. It needs a lot of energies. But, what does it benefit to gain the whole world and then you lose
You
your children?
lose your children. It's
You
too
lose your
painful.
family.
I know.
Okay. So there are times when we are like a young mother. You may think, I am missing out to go and work. I'm missing out my, my OGs and my the daily formal setting. But a decision has to be made at certain point, because these children go through different stages of development. And when you miss those developments, you will not catch up. And that's why you see even adults, little do you know or do you think that they are supposed to make some, to have some behaviors. But before you know it, you see a whole woman behaving like a young girl of 15. Meaning that at certain stage, they missed something or something happened. And that's what, for us as teachers, we call it fixation.
Fixation.
Now, in order to avoid those fixations here and there and displacement of things, it is better to intentionally help make these decisions. Intentionally raise up the children. Do whatever it is. I usually tell my young fellow ladies, after your certificates and you get to give birth and raise children, they will not rot. Get them, seal them, and keep them somewhere. And before you know it, when you come back to them, they will be as new as you got them from the university. If you still want to work. But you cannot really sacrifice these little children because you've got to go and work, because you've got to go and do this and the other. So when we come to the family, there is a lot of decision that has to be made and a lot of balancing has to be made. And if really you find it is too much, first chill a bit from working, agree with the husband, raise the children, and after all, you have cut off the costs of transport, the costs of food, You can bring those economics back at home and,
actually,
and you save
that's
something.
True. Exactly.
You save the children, you save the money, and you're at peace. Why not think about that? Yes. So the politics, of course, usually affect the old people. And there is something that we also need to know, that children don't use ears. Children use eyes.
Wow.
They don't learn by just listening. No, for them they see. You will tell them this and then they see you doing this. They will watch how you dress. They watch how you talk, how you cook, how you do whatever you do at home. You are the first teacher to that child. Because tell me a mother who doesn't know how to cook, and you tell me a girl whom she has produced who knows how to cook. They will not learn. Otherwise, where will they learn from?
True.
So when we come to these issues, of course, usually politics, we look at it in terms of a wider perspective. But politics is generally the way you do things. A family has its own politics. The way how it does things, the way how it makes relationships, the way how it decides, okay, we are going here, we are not going here. we are going to have a family vacation. Where are you going? Are you going to a beach where there are nude people and you're exposing your children? And remember, you are the one who has taken them there. Will you come and tell them, you know, that dress is short? You know, these are some of the things that we need to think about. And many young mothers feel as if, you know, it doesn't matter. It does matter.
It matters.
For instance, many times when I'm leaving home, if I decide to leave, my children tell me, Mommy, today, remove that dress. You know, they can tell you that.
I know.
And then another day, this other little Daniel of mine comes and tells me, no, Mommy, today, you look like a businesswoman. Where he gets ideas from, I don't know. You know?
There's so many influences.
He comes and then he says, now, today you are now a nice teacher.
Wow.
And then another time, today you are now a mother. You know, they keep on communicating, and the way you receive the communication, the way you respond to it, it all matters, and all this is based within a family. So we've got to be intentional. We've got to think twice before we make these decisions within the family, if we need a sensible society.
Exactly.
Yeah. We mentioned politics, we mentioned the family, and then the last influence that we have is the arts, stroke sports. Arts, you have seen how, for example, fathers will have to watch Arsenal. Instead of going and praying with their children. If the two conflict at the same time.
What do you do?
Hitting people there.
Yes. So it's and actually it's one of the most important decisions I had to make. When we got married, she said, Emma, no watching football. I said, now wait. So we negotiated. And finally, I saw the point. It's such a conflict.
True.
Especially if it collides with the time either to go to church or to pray with my children. So, and in sports, we are communicating to these children. In sports, we are communicating to other people. So what kind of information are you communicating?
Exactly.
Sports has ceased
To be sports.
You can see, actually, even when you watch TVs, at the time of games, that's when you have the most adverts.
Those are notorious ones.
So the world knows that we have your attention. And since we have your attention, we shall utilize it the way we want. I'm now speaking from the world. We are going to utilize it the way we want. And so if you say, we are just going to watch football. That's what other people say. There's other things that are involved in this. And so if you do not also filter this information, and you say, okay, it is sports, but what should I expose my children to? What should I expose my wife to? And what should I expose myself to? You will find that you expose yourself to something that is not that is dangerous. So we have to control what kind of information, what kind of all these that we expose to our children.
I know.
So we looked at media, we looked at education, we looked at economics, stroke business, we looked at religion, we looked at politics, we looked at family, and we looked at arts and sports. And today we are addressing one of them, family.
Yes. Wow.
Family.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for sharing with us the 7 influences. Yeah, thank you very much. It was really, really nice. And I will also invite you to share with us what are some of those hard decisions that you have met in your marriage, in your family. Please share with us.
Of course, every day as a family we have to make decisions. And I'm glad that some of these decisions were made even before we got married. During our courtship, we sat and talked about some of these things. But after marriage, the key decisions we had to make, for example, about media, is to control TV at home.
Oh.
To say no TV, and we're not going to have TV at home.
Yay!
Is that possible?
And
That's a hard paper.
it has been hard. And later on we said, okay, we can have TV, but for news.
Those that don't have.
Now, when the children started getting to 8 to 10, because now they are learning, they have to learn. We cannot close them in a dark environment.
World.
Yes, they have to know what goes outside that is not in our home. So they have to be exposed. So we said, okay, we are going to start exposing you a little bit, but we begin with news. You watch news, you see what happens in the world, and you also start making your own judgments, your own interpretations of the world outside you. So now we are watching news. When we come to education, the most serious decision we have made, the one who helped me to make the decision.
We decided to school them from home.
Oh.
We are homeschooling.
Oh.
And the beauty of it is that they learn.
Wow. It's interesting.
They do the activities, and you see the output. It's not just writing to pass, to get fours, to get what. No. They learn, and when they have not understood something, they will come and ask you. And they themselves, there's another part of it that I'm discovering these days. When they have learned something, actually, if you have discovered, for Abigail, she always wants to find out if we know. She's she wants to test. Daddy, you said you did mathematics.
Oh.
Can you solve this problem?
Hey!
Mommy, you said you know history. What happened during World War I, or what happened? Who caused World War I? Who did this? As in, they want to see, is what you told them true?
Exactly.
Okay? Because now, apart from the youngest, we have gone into the time of discoveries. They are 13 years. So they are discovering, and they are getting to know, okay, there is this, there is that. Now, what? They want to experiment, they want to do this, they want to do the other. So we decided to homeschool them, and we've been at it, I think, for 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, around 8 years.
And it is interesting. Wow. It is very interesting.
So that's how we
information
control
about that.
Yes.
Homeschooling.
So that's how we control that influence. What do you teach your children? And the curriculum we are using is Christian based. You pray before you go to school. You recite and memorize the Bible verse before you go to.
But more to that is practicing out the Christ-like character. If you have read that, you are supposed to be merciful, are you practicing it?
Yeah.
If you say if you read gentleness, and this other one is pushing you, and are you going to resist and be gentle? Or if you're older, are you going to chill and then let the young one, take the first lead? Those are some of that, and from there, small decisions, they have to interact with them, and as they grow, then they are able to do what? To make decisions.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. So those are some of the key decisions. But also, I'm glad that she has been a homestay mom for the first at least 8 years of their growth.
Oh.
Strictly home and making sure that the children are groomed while I am away. But also I make sure that I support her. If I am not at family TV, I am home by 6.
And this time we are home.
So this is family time.
Oh, no Arsenal match, nothing like that.
Well, it doesn't also mean that we don't have time for leisure. We don't have time for, where we are relaxing from. But we have creatively found out how to relax.
Exactly.
Okay? It's not that it is this other family where you are entering the bedroom and then you're walking up and doing this. No. go and look for movies, you come and watch together, and then you hear what they are commenting.
Exactly.
And it is very amazing to hear their comments, you know. They make comments and they're like, okay, this one has also seen this. This was not supposed to be done, things of that sort. So it doesn't mean that if we are not watching Arsenal or Manu, we can't have that creative time as a family.
Creative.
Yeah. So we move out and have fun.
Well, that's
I
nice.
think we are the funniest.
So,
Kudos.
yes. So that determines
It's really interesting.
what you're
You
trying
can
to
create
do.
the fun. You don't have to rely
As she
from
said,
others.
that children learn by seeing. You are modeling a certain behavior to counteract the
Others.
7 influences. Otherwise, the influences will,
It's so much.
Yeah.
because they are many.
They are
many and they are intentional. And some of them, if not many of them, are evil.
Oh.
Yes, you cannot go if you are working and you go to a public place to have lunch. You can see what is on TV, not a family show. Not a family show, except on family TV. So, if you open this channel of media and expose everything to your child, you will be surprised at the kind of information they get in one day. It may erase what you have done
True.
in 7 years, just in one day. So
Sad.
creatively, you keep modeling, you keep showing them, you keep exposing them. Because we cannot say, don't expose your children to the 7. No. Because at the end of the day, when they leave home, they have to interact with others. So they have to know what takes place outside. And then you tell them, you see, my son, I can take you to the other beach, but that is not your place. Your place is this one. Why don't I take you to the other one? Then you give an explanation. He knows there is something bad, but you're creatively exposing them to something good. But I cannot put them in a room and say, no.
What?
No, eventually you're
No
going to raise
eating
children
chips.
who cannot interpret and interact with others when they go outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you creatively, in a controlled environment, expose them to the 7 and tell them the good side and the bad side. And then finally, you let them make a decision. I've been telling my 13-year-olds that for you, I expose you intentionally to certain information and see your reaction, which I cannot expose to the other 7-year-old. And the reason I'm doing it is for me to see the decision you make. So when I expose you to something and you make a good decision, then I'm saying, thank you, Jesus, that my child is making a right decision. But when I expose you and you make a wrong decision, then I know this is an area of improvement.
Yeah.
But if I say, everything is good, everything is okay, don't get exposed to any of the 7. How will my child know the difference between being a Christian, being a Muslim, being a Catholic, you see, because they are exposed to only being a Christian. Then tomorrow, this child will go out and meet a Muslim. Say, for you, what do you worship? This person can intentionally influence my child because I don't know the information they are going to exchange.
Wow.
So I would rather at an early stage expose them and say, yes, we go to church, but there are others who don't go to church. They go to a mosque. And why do they go to a mosque? Because of the following. This is what they believe in. This is what they do. But for us, so the child knows tomorrow if they're exposed to a Muslim, they will know, okay, fine. Not to say that we don't like Muslims or Muslims should not. What we are trying to say is that the information must be intentional and controlled to what you want your child to be or to know. And then you model them in that manner. Yes. We are not telling parents, go and close your children in a room, don't expose them.
Wow.
Expose them in a controlled
way.
And when you're exposing them, determine the reaction, determine the crossroad. Where is the crossroad?
Exactly.
At this crossroad, if my child had 4 options,
what would they do?
What choice did she make? What choice did he make? If they made the right decision, you are a good parent.
Wow. Tick. You check
You
that.
tick. If they made the wrong decision, it means you go back to the drawing board and redetermine how to do the training so that you train these children to know what is good and what is bad and how to make the decision. So and tomorrow we shall be launching our campaign for the family. We are campaigning for the family as Life Ministry Uganda to make sure that what we are talking about, what the children should be exposed to the gospel. The children should be exposed to the gospel wherever they are. Even ourselves as parents, we need to be exposed. We are talking about religion as one of the influences, but there are parents who don't go to church. There are parents who don't pray. So it's not only the children, it also there are parents who need to be parented. There are parents who need to be exposed. Because we grew up from different backgrounds. You become a father, you become a mother, but you are not parented. So what happens later? So we are focusing on the family, and we are saying the family needs to be exposed to the gospel of Jesus Christ for them to be able to make the right decision when they are at the crossroad.
Lastly, let's be intentional. Let's mind about what we do as parents, because it affects the children, and the children will affect others, and it goes on with one generation to others. And all this is played within our society. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, Salong and Nalong. Now, I prefer to use that because it's exciting, and I tap on that anointing, by the way. Yeah, thank you very much. This was a very, very good show. In case you have missed it, we will put it on YouTube, Church of Uganda Family TV YouTube channel. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. We love you so very much. God bless you from me and the Salongo and Nalongo. It is a bye-bye, and God bless you. See you again next Friday. Bye.